Now that we know every first round matchup of the NHL playoffs, it is time to go through my Stanley Cup playoff bracket here for 2025. Now, if you guys want to join in on doing a bracket, I will leave a link down below in the description. This isn't sponsored or anything, but it is a lot of fun to do, and you have a chance to win some prizes. Now, I'm going to be treating this like my official Stanley Cup playoffs predictions. We're going to go through each first round individually, and eventually I will choose a Stanley Cup champion in this video. And then in a few weeks, we can go through my bracket, and we can see just how wrong I was. The first matchup is going to be the Winnipeg Jets versus the St. Louis Blues. And I know St. Louis has been on an awesome run lately, but I just don't see them stopping the Winnipeg Jets. I do have Winnipeg moving on past St. Louis with the likes of Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Josh Morrissey, and then of course in net Connor Hellebuck. I just think it's too much for St. Louis to overcome. On the other side, we're looking at the Battle of Ontario, Toronto versus Ottawa. This is the series I'm most excited about, and I think most people are excited about. Toronto finished first in the Atlantic, and Ottawa first in the wild card. And I do think that Toronto is actually going to edge out the Ottawa Senators in this round. I have Toronto moving on to round 2. I think their team has improved quite a bit, and Anthony Stolarz has been amazing. I know that Ottawa has Linus Ullmark, but I think Toronto's going to get past Ottawa this year. Next up, the Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche. I am absolutely not sold on the Avalanche goaltending, and Dallas has Wyatt Johnston, one of my favorite former Windsor Spitfires. I think this is going to be a very close series, and in the end, I can't bet against Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar. So Colorado versus Winnipeg in the second round. Back over to the East, where we have the Battle of Florida. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. This is going to be a really tough series to predict as well. Florida looking to repeat, Tampa Bay looking to get back past the first round. Looking at the numbers alone, you would think Tampa's probably going to win this one, but I think we're going to see the Florida Panthers move on to round number 2. It's not that I don't think the Tampa Bay Lightning are great. Obviously, you have Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov. Brandon Hagel has been outstanding. I just do think we see a little bit of an upset here with the Florida Panthers, so we're going to go Florida and Toronto in round 2. Now that we are where we are in the bracket, let me go ahead and say, hey, let me know down below what you think of my picks. I know some fan bases are probably going to be pretty upset here, and I can't wait to look like a big dumb idiot when I'm proven wrong. The next matchup that we are looking at is the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Minnesota Wild. This one, for me, I don't think is going to be a super close series. I do have Vegas moving on in 4 or 5 games. Maybe we don't see a full sweep, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be a close series. So Vegas moving on here, and once again, I can't wait to be proven wrong. And then in the East, we have the Washington Capitals and the Montreal Canadiens. And look, Habs fans, I get it, I do. The vibes are extremely high right now. You're having a great time. Congratulations on making the playoffs, Demidov coming over, having that outstanding first game. But I think this is where the fun ends. Washington finished first in the East. Ovi broke the goal-scoring record this year. He's going to continue playing, apparently. And all of the new additions, Chychrun, PLD, they look outstanding. They're doing great. Logan Thompson has been unreal. So as much as I hate to say it, I think Washington's going to move on. And between all of the teams that were competing for that final wildcard spot, Montreal got it. I don't think it would have mattered what team was in this spot. I think no matter what, Washington is steamrolling, whether it's Detroit, Columbus, and even Montreal who actually got it. The final first round matchup in the West is going to be the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers yet again. And is this the year LA finally moves on? I'm going to say no. I just have a very hard time betting against Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. Do I trust their defense and goaltending? No. But that offense just looks so damn good, and I just can't bet against them this time. And with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and choose how many games I think each series is going to go. I have Winnipeg winning in 5, Colorado in 7, Vegas in 5, and Edmonton in 7 as well. So no sweeps in that first round in the West. What about the East? The final matchup we're talking about is the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils. And Henrique, I love you, buddy, but I don't think the Devils are getting very far. Without Jack Hughes in the lineup, it's going to be very hard for the Devils to get anything going, I think. And I do have the Carolina Hurricanes moving on. And now to choose how many games each series goes. For Toronto and Ottawa, I'm going to go Toronto in 6. Florida and Tampa, I'm going to go Florida in 6. Washington and Montreal, I'll say Montreal squeaks out a game, maybe at home, but overall, Washington definitely wins that one. And then Carolina, I'm going to have in 5 over the New Jersey Devils. So once again, no sweeps in either of the first round matchups. However, it's time for us to move on to round number 2. First up is Winnipeg versus Colorado. I think this is going to be a very close, tight series, with goaltending in the end being the key. So I am going to go with the Winnipeg Jets moving on to the conference finals in the West. That is going to be a tough series, though. Now, the second round series here in the West is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. And once again, I would predict that this is going to be a very close series. We have the battle of Eichel and McDavid. I still have a very hard time betting against Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid in this series. But that is exactly what I'm going to do. I didn't think I was going to eliminate Edmonton this early, but here we are. In the West, my conference final is the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights. As for the East, we started off with the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this is going to shock a lot of people. I know, people are going to be on me about this. But I am going to have the Toronto Maple Leafs moving on to round number 3, the conference finals. I know. I just think the Leafs have improved so much this year. The defense and goaltending, the biggest improvement. And we finally have a third round for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Who are they going against? We got Washington or Carolina, and I don't particularly think that this is going to be that close of a series. I am going to go with the Washington Capitals, your final 4 being Winnipeg, Vegas, Toronto, and Washington. Now for the bracket itself, you don't actually have to input how many games you think each series is going to go. But for Winnipeg and Colorado, I'll say 6 games. For Vegas and Edmonton, I'll say 7. For Toronto and Florida, I'll also say 7. And for Washington, Carolina, I'm going to say 5. On to the final 4. We have the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights. This is going to be an absolute battle, but I think this is going to be Winnipeg's year. I'm a big fan of the team, and I think they can get it done and go all the way to the finals, beating the Vegas Golden Knights, and I'm going to say 6 games. And for the final matchup, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Washington Capitals. Y'all, I gotta do it. I'm putting Toronto in the finals. This is the Leafs' year. To make it to the finals, to lose to the Winnipeg Jets. That's right, my Stanley Cup champion is going to be the Winnipeg Jets. Tiebreaker here, you get to choose how many goals you think will be scored in the finals. I say between Toronto and Winnipeg, you're going to see probably 6 games, with a total of 34 goals being scored. I'm going to go ahead and submit my bracket, and here's a look at the full bracket with the Stanley Cup champion, Winnipeg Jets. Now, am I dreaming of an all-Canadian finals? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but that's the fun in doing this bracket. Let me know down below what you think of what I put together here. And don't forget to come back and point and laugh at me when Toronto gets eliminated in the first round and I look like a big, dumb idiot. Once again, if you want to do a bracket just like I did, the link is down below in the description. I do end up doing one of these every year, and I never really end up getting close, but it's always fun to pretend. The reality is, the Stanley Cup playoffs in the NHL is just so damn unpredictable that anything can happen. So, Habs fans, when the Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup this year, feel free to come back to this video and make fun of me. You actually get the option to download your bracket if you want to share it to social media and whatnot, but yeah. Here's a look at my final bracket. Am I confident? Not really, but that's the whole fun in it, right? Let me know once again down below what you think and who you think is going to be winning the Stanley Cup here in 2025. Anyways, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Stay frosty.